After the play, Claudius leaves and goes for praying. He asks for forgiveness for killing his own brother, King Hamlet. Hamlet overhears this. He wants to kill Claudius, but he couldn't. He thinks if he kills Claudius while praying, then Claudius will go to heaven. Then he wants to confront his mother about his father's death and her new husband, Claudius. While in her room, he hears something behind the curtain. Thinking it's Claudius, he draws his sword, stabs through the curtain. But in fact, the person behind the curtain was Claudius' counselor, Polonius, whom Claudius has sent to overhear the talk between Hamlet and the queen. And now Hamlet killed Polonius and turns into a murderer. Claudius pretends to care for Hamlet's safety. He sends Hamlet to England. He said that he needs to leave Denmark in order to be protected. In reality, Claudius is sending Hamlet to England in order to be executed. The king Claudius sends Hamlet with 2 guards to England to be killed there. Hamlet discovered this. He erased his name and replaced it with the names of the guards instead. The 2 men are executed, and Hamlet returns back to Denmark. Back in Denmark, Polonius' daughter Ophelia, who had been in love with Hamlet, after her father's death, she lost her mind and drowned herself. Polonius' son Laertes wants to avenge his father's death. He also blames Hamlet for the death of his sister Ophelia as well. The king tells Laertes that Hamlet is the one to blame for the death of his father and his sister. Laertes becomes angry with the king because his father didn't receive a proper funeral. He also wants Hamlet to be killed. The king, Claudius, conspired with Laertes to get rid of Hamlet. He arranged a fencing match between Hamlet and Laertes. Laertes will use a poisonous sword, and Claudius will use a poisonous cup of wine too, in order to kill Hamlet. Hamlet scored the first point. Claudius offered him a drink from the poisonous wine, but Hamlet declines or refuses. Instead, his mother, Gertrude the queen, takes a drink. It kills her at once. At the same time, Hamlet is struck with Laertes with a poisonous sword. The 2 scuffle over plates and switch their swords. Laertes is wounded with the poisonous sword. Before he dies, he confessed to Hamlet that Claudius poisoned the cup of wine. Hamlet then stabs Claudius, forcing him to drink the rest of the poison in the cup. Horatio, Hamlet's friends, attempt to drink from the cup, but Hamlet stops him and asks him to stay alive to tell his tale or story. The king of Norway arrives to find the entire royal family is dead. Horatio tells him the story of what has happened. The king of Norway takes the crown for himself. The main characters of the play: Prince Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark, the son of Queen Gertrude and the late King Hamlet, the nephew of the present King Claudius. Prince Hamlet is loyal to the memory of his father. He respected his father's memory. He always appeared in black, lost interest in everything in life, and enjoying any of the festivals in the kingdom. He is also smart and doubtful. He suspected that Claudius, his uncle, killed his own father to be the king of Denmark. So he made a plan of madness. He pretended to be mad. He sent letters to Ophelia, full of rude words. And he also agreed with a group of actors to perform a play similar to the death of his own father. When he was certain that Claudius was the real murderer of his father, he wanted to kill him. He was brave also. This appears in the first scene, or the first appearance of the ghost. Hamlet's friends advised him not to follow the ghost of his own father, thinking that it may be a bad or an evil spirit that could harm him. But Hamlet didn't listen and followed the ghost, who asked him to take his revenge and kill his own uncle. He was also brave when he fought the pirates on his way to England and made friends with them. And at the end as well, when he managed to kill Laertes, and he killed Claudius at the end of the play, made him drink the poisonous wine, and stabbed him with the poisonous sword as well. But Hamlet was hesitant and indecisive. He delayed killing Claudius more than once. That gave Claudius the time to plot against Hamlet more than once, with the King of England, and at the end with Laertes. And that was Hamlet's mistake. Because of this, he lost his own life and caused death for many. Gertrude, the Queen of Denmark, and Hamlet's mother. A weak woman who seeks love more than morals or truth. Gertrude is disloyal and unfaithful. Gertrude married Claudius in less than 2 months after her husband's death, King Hamlet. By doing this, Gertrude prevented her own son Hamlet from being the King of Denmark. You can say that Gertrude is inconsiderate and uncaring, but sometimes sensitive. This was clear after Ophelia's death, as Gertrude felt sorry for Ophelia's death and threw flowers on her grave. Claudius, the King of Denmark and Hamlet's uncle. Claudius is an evil man driven by his desire for power. He is disloyal, unfaithful, and betrayer. He betrayed his own brother and killed him while sleeping in the garden, married his wife Gertrude, and deprived Prince Hamlet from being the King of Denmark. Is cunning, smart, and doubtful. He suspected that Hamlet discovered his secret and tried to get rid of Hamlet more than once, pretending to care for his own safety. He conspired with the King of England to kill Hamlet, send him there to be killed. But when he returned back, he conspired with Laertes to get rid of Hamlet. He prepared a poisonous sword and poisonous wine for Hamlet to be killed. But at the end, Hamlet could kill Claudius, made him drink the poisonous wine, and stabbed him with the poisonous sword. He was an evil man who deserved his end. Ophelia, Polonius's daughter, a beautiful young woman with whom Hamlet has been in love. Ophelia is a sweet and an innocent girl, loyal to her own father, obeys him when he tells her to stay away from Hamlet. Ophelia is also forgives Hamlet for his bad treatment, but after her father's death by the hands of Hamlet, she lost her mind and drowned herself. The main themes of the play: betrayal and disloyalty. Betrayal is one of the main themes of the play. It was clearly presented through the characters of Claudius, Gertrude, and Laertes. Number 1, Claudius. Claudius betrayed his own brother, killed him while sleeping in the garden, married his wife, and deprived his son, Prince Hamlet, from being the king. He even tried to get rid of Hamlet more than once, conspired with the King of England and with Laertes at the end of the play. Gertrude betrayed her own husband and married Claudius, his brother, in less than 2 months. By doing this, Gertrude deprived her own son from being the king. And we have Laertes, after his father's death, by the hands of Hamlet. He agreed with Claudius to get rid of Hamlet by stabbing him with a poisonous sword. But at the end, they all lost their lives. Another theme, friendship, is clearly presented in the character of Horatio. He tried to stop Hamlet from following the ghost of his father, King Hamlet, thinking it was a bad spirit that could hurt Hamlet. He also kept his plan of madness a secret, and at the end tried to kill himself by drinking from the poisonous cup. But Hamlet stopped him and asked him to stay alive to tell his story. We have the guard who stopped Hamlet, or tried to stop Hamlet from following the ghost of his own father, thinking it was a bad spirit that could hurt Hamlet. And we have the group of actors who agreed with Hamlet to perform a play similar to the death of King Hamlet, because Hamlet wanted to be certain if Claudius was the real murderer of his father or not. The theme of revenge. The ghost of King Hamlet appeared to Prince Hamlet and asked him to kill Claudius, who killed King Hamlet while sleeping in the garden. Hamlet pretended to be mad. He wanted to be certain. He wanted to be certain if Claudius, his uncle, was the real murderer or not. He pretended mad and asked a group of actors to perform a play similar to the death of his own father. And we have also Laertes, who wanted to kill Hamlet after the death of his own father and his sister. He agreed with Claudius to kill Hamlet with a poisonous sword. Death is one of the important themes of the play. Many died in this play. King Hamlet was the first one to die. He was killed by his own brother Claudius, who poured poison in his ear while sleeping in the garden. Claudius wanted to be the king of Denmark. We have also Polonius, the king counselor, whom the king sent to hear the talk between Hamlet and his own mother after the play. Polonius was hiding behind the curtain. Hamlet, thinking that it was Claudius behind the curtain, stabbed Polonius and killed him. We have Ophelia, after her father's death by the hands of Hamlet, lost her mind and drowned herself. We have also the guards who were with Hamlet on his way to England. Hamlet erased his name from the letter and put the names of the guards instead, to be killed instead of him. At the end of the play, we have Gertrude, who drank from the poisonous cup. The poisonous cup of wine was prepared for Hamlet to be killed with, in case of not being dead with the poisonous sword. We have Laertes also, who was killed by Hamlet. Laertes, before dying, told Hamlet everything, told him about the plot with Claudius. Claudius himself was killed by Hamlet, who made him drink from the poisonous cup and stabbed him with the poisonous sword. At the end of the play, Prince Hamlet was dead. Laertes killed him with the poisonous sword. But before dying, Hamlet asked his friend to stay alive and tell his story.